Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Cheryl Mangan, and I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at Autism CRC. Today, I also have the privilege of being the host for the webinar. We have an exciting session planned for you today with lots of information about the Autistic Identity and Connection program, as well as an opportunity for Q&A with the project team. But first, we'll begin with an acknowledgement of country. We would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we're coming to you. For most of the CRC team, that's the Turrbal and the Yagara people of Meanjin country. We acknowledge their connection to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to the elders past and present, and also extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on the line today. So to start today's webinar, I'd like to introduce some of the members of the Autistic Identity and Connection project delivery team. First, we have Hayley Clapham, who is a research assistant at Autism CRC and the project officer for this program. Hayley is a graduate of multiple Sylvia Roger Academy programs and joined Autism CRC in 2022 as the project officer for the Self-Advocacy at Work project. More recently, Hayley's worked on several Autism CRC projects related to the National Autism Strategy. In project teams and the many advisory groups that she is part of, Hayley consistently raises the standard of co-production and participatory research, working to ensure that autistic people have a seat at the table, and more importantly, that their important insights are included in every possible way. In her spare time, if she has any, Hayley's also a research assistant with Macquarie University and studying a Bachelor of Psychology at Edith Cowan University. Next, we have Liv Gatfield, who's Autism CRC's Research and Community Manager. Liv's been working for Autism CRC for 10 years and has been involved with every one of our Sylvia Roger Academy programs, which aim to empower autistic adults. Liv is an accomplished researcher, and although she hates when I tell people, she actually has a PhD from the University of Queensland. Liv also has extensive experience working with autistic children and individuals with intellectual disabilities, as well as being a therapist and educator. Liv is a strong advocate for co-produced research and firmly believes that collaboration between researchers and autistic individuals is central to empowering the autistic community. Last, but certainly not least, we have Ashton Bartz, who's our Research and Community Engagement Officer. Ash has been at Autism CRC since 2019, and in that time, they've played an integral role in developing and delivering the 2019 Governance Program, the 2020 Research Program, the Self-Advocacy at Work project, and the 2023 Autistic Identity and Connection Program. Ash has a wealth of experience and qualifications in youth work, as well as a graduate certificate in autism studies from Griffith University. Ash is proudly autistic and a member of the LGBTIQA+ community, and as such has served as a valued advisor on several national and grassroots organisation advisory boards. So today we're going to start off by sharing a little bit of an overview of Autism CRC and the Sylvia Roger Academy. This will be followed by an overview of the Autistic Identity and Connection program. And then we're going to have a bit of a quick 5-minute break and then come back and finish the webinar with an opportunity for anyone to ask any questions. We really encourage you to bring your questions. So feel free to ask any questions you have about the program, knowing that no question is too big or too small. You can do this in 2 ways. If you're watching this on Zoom, you can type your question in the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you prefer, you can email your questions to hello@autismcrc.com.au. Regardless of how they come to us, we'll do our best to answer every question or as many questions as we can through our Q&A session. In a minute, I'm going to hand over to the wonderful Hayley and the rest of the team. While they're speaking, I'll be keeping an eye on the questions that come through and will pop up at the end of the session to facilitate the Q&A. Whether you're considering applying for the program or you're just a little bit curious about what the program offers, this webinar really aims to provide you with a comprehensive overview of the program and give you the opportunity to ask any questions and listen to the responses to questions that others have. So, without further ado, I'll hand over to Hayley. Over to you, Hayley.
Thank you, Cheryl. Autism CRC is the independent national source of evidence for best practice in relation to autism across the lifespan and the spectrum. We provide the national capacity to develop and deliver evidence-based outcomes through our unique collaboration with autistic people, families, professionals, service providers, researchers, and government. Together, we are addressing agreed needs and co-producing outputs with these stakeholders for the benefit of the community. Our vision is autistic people with quality of life and opportunity. An initiative of Autism CRC, the Sylvia Roger Academy delivers nationwide autistic-led programs aimed at empowering autistic adults. Our vision is to see autistic people thriving through discovering and using their strengths. Our mission is to provide programs, pathways, and networks that create communities where autistic people fully contribute and influence policy, practice, and culture in partnership with their peers. We have been delivering programs in leadership, research, corporate governance, and autistic identity since 2015. To date, the Sylvia Roger Academy has almost 200 autistic graduates and participants from across Australia and overseas. Delivered by Autism CRC's Sylvia Roger Academy, the Autistic Identity Connection program has been developed by and for autistic people. This program is for those who would like to have a more complete understanding of what it means to be autistic and connect with other autistic people and community. Autistic Identity and Connection will also help participants to develop skills in wellbeing and self-advocacy from an autistic perspective. So for this program, we offer two versions, an online version and a face-to-face version. The online version includes the following components: an online introductory session, 4 modules, 4 online sessions, 5 online masterclass sessions, the opportunity to be part of a community of autistic peers, and the opportunity to provide feedback on the program. The face-to-face version of the program includes the following components: an online introductory session, 4 modules, 4 online sessions, a 3.5-day, 3-night workshop in an Australian capital city, the opportunity to be part of a community of autistic peers, and the opportunity to provide feedback on the program. Now, the introductory online session is an opportunity for the participants to meet each other, ask questions, and practice using the technology. There are 4 modules in the program. Each module will run for 2 weeks and will take roughly 2 to 3 hours to complete. The modules are autism, the autistic experience, wellbeing, and self-advocacy. Now, for each module, participants will be asked to explore information such as through articles, videos, and content, reflect on that information and apply it through activities, and share their thoughts and questions about the topic with other participants in the online sessions. For the online sessions, each will be about 90 minutes. Depending on the program version that the participants are enrolled in, the online sessions will be hosted during the day or at night. The online sessions will be hosted on Zoom. For participants enrolled in the online version of the program, they will also attend 5 online masterclasses hosted on Zoom. These are 90 minutes long. Depending on the program version you're enrolled in, the online sessions will be hosted during the day or nighttime. Activities during the masterclasses may include presentations and discussions, practical activities, question and answer sessions. For participants enrolled in the face-to-face version of the program, they will also attend a residential workshop. Activities at the workshop may include presentations and discussions, practical activities, question and answer sessions, and optional social activities. Participants are also expected to provide feedback about the program and its content. This will involve participation in a 1-hour focus group, either at the residential workshop or online via Zoom. Both versions of the program have access to the same modules and the online sessions. To help you decide which version is best for you, you can read more about the different versions and the specific dates in the applicant information pack. So the program will run from November 2024 to March 2025 for the face-to-face version. For the online version of the program, it will run from November 2024 to May 2025. For specific dates for the program and its components, including modules, online sessions, and the residential workshop, please refer to the applicant information pack. So to apply for the Autistic Identity and Connection program, you will need to meet the following eligibility criteria. Identify as autistic, be aged 18 or older as of the 23rd of September 2024, live in select areas of Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, or the Northern Territory, be willing and available to participate in all program activities, and finally, have an interest in exploring autism and autistic identity, developing skills in wellbeing and self-advocacy from an autistic perspective, and connecting with other autistic people and community. Some areas of Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, or the Northern Territory are not eligible for the program. You can check your postcode using the link on the website. Applications for the program open on the 23rd of September and then close on the 4th of October. The application is an online form. You can complete the form via text or using speech-to-text software on your device. For some questions, uploading files is also an option, such as an audio or video file. In the form, we will ask you questions about yourself, such as your name and contact details, which version of the program you want to apply for example, online, face-to-face, or either version, and why you are interested in the program. For applicants who have applied for the face-to-face version of the program, the application process will also involve a structured, friendly check-in as a second step in the application process. Not everyone who applies will be asked to have a check-in, and not everyone who has a check-in will be offered a place in the program. So the check-in will be via Zoom. We will ask you some questions about your application. We will talk about the program components and what participating in the program looks like. This is also an opportunity for you to ask any questions. I'll share any concerns that you may have about participating in the program. During the check-in, you can participate in the way that you feel most comfortable. This includes wearing clothes you find comfortable, choosing to have your camera on or off, using sensory tools, moving around, stimming. You can take a break, stop the check-in at any time, or you also have the option to use the chat function instead of speaking. The check-in chat would take approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Applicants will then be offered a place via email or be notified that they were unsuccessful by the 11th of November 2024. So the Autistic Identity and Connection program is for people who would like to learn more about autism, autistic identity, wellbeing, and self-advocacy, and to connect with other autistic people and community. To help people decide whether the program is right for them, these are some examples of reasons why you might like to apply. Haven't had much opportunity to learn about autism or what being autistic means. Want to learn more about different autistic experiences. Want to learn about how other autistic people take care of themselves. Want to learn how you can advocate for yourself. Want to connect with other autistic people and community. Or perhaps want to learn more about oneself as an autistic person. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. Before we move on to questions, we'll have a quick 5-minute break so that you can stretch your legs or get something to eat or drink. We'll then open the floor to questions for members of the delivery team. Remember, you can submit your questions at any time using the Q&A function, or if you're following along on YouTube, via emailing hello@autismcrc.com.au. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome back. So thank you so much for staying with us through that break. We'll now move to the Q&A part of this session. So I'm going to invite Ash, Liv and Hayley all to put your cameras on in readiness. There have been some great questions that have come through, so we'll try and get through as many of these as we can. Starting with the first question that came through, which I'm going to direct to you, Hayley, and that is, which Australian capital city will the face-to-face residential workshop be in? Will it be in just one or multiple cities?
Thank you, Cheryl. So yes, as part of the face-to-face version of the program, there will be one residential workshop, so one capital city. That will be dependent on the the applications that we receive and where the participants in the program are located. So it will either be in Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth, or Darwin. Sorry. Yeah, so one of those. Yes.
Fantastic.
But we will let people know once that decision has been made. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And as soon as you possibly can, I know, Hayley, because we know that for many people who come to Sylvia Roger Academy programs, often it is the first time they've travelled, interstate for some people. For some people, it's been the first time that they've been on a plane. And so sharing that information means that we can support you as best we possibly can. So this is probably another question for you, Hayley. Are there limited places for the online program? What are the criteria you use to choose people, either for online or face-to-face?
Yes, so there are limited places in the program. There will be roughly 15 participants per version. So we have in the face-to-face, there'll be roughly 15 participants in that program. And then for the online version, which has 2 streams, a daytime version and a nighttime version, there'll be roughly 15 participants in each of those streams. And as part of the, I guess, the criteria that we use to assess applicants, one of those is people's availability to actually be able to participate in the program's activities, such as online sessions, and be able to engage in the modules, as well as people's capacity to, if they're available, for the online sessions. Ash, did you have anything else to add to that?
Sure. So in terms of the criteria, in our application information pack, we do have a part at the end which talks about you looking at your own, like whether or not you would benefit from the program and who the program is for. So one of the things that we look at is that if someone already knows a lot about autism, or there's someone who is already accessing a lot of support, then we're like, well, there's someone who probably doesn't need the program. So in terms of criteria, we're looking for people who would really benefit from the module topics, and or like getting to connect with the community, and or like getting to learn more about autism and the autistic experience. So that's the kind of things that we're typically looking at. Yeah, I think that's it.
That was beautifully answered, Ash, but I might just jump in and add something else if that's okay. And I just wanted to say that on the application form, you can actually choose which version of the program you want to apply for. But you actually don't have to choose just one. You can choose multiple, and you can also indicate that you don't have a preference. So the option is there for you if you want to be able to indicate that it doesn't matter which version of the program, be it the face-to-face or the online only.
Thanks, Liv. Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Hayley. So there's another question, but before I get to it, I just want to encourage you again, please put your questions through on email or in the Q&A. for us, because we'll keep going for a little bit longer. And this isn't the only opportunity as well. We, you know, with everything with Sylvia Roger Academy and Autism CRC, we welcome questions after, because we know that lots of people wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh man, that was my opportunity. I wish I had have asked that. We do that too. So we make sure that you can ask questions at any point throughout the application process. So feel free. So this is a really good question, because I think this is a question that lots of people will be thinking. I really, and I probably should work out who to send it to Hayley. I really want to apply, but I'm worried I won't be accepted to take part. Are all those willing to take part fully in the program accepted, or are some knocked back? If we don't get accepted, then can we reapply in the future?
Thank you, Cheryl. So yes, obviously, because of limited positions available in the program, not everyone that does apply will be accepted. However, you are more than welcome to apply again in the future, either for this program or any other of the Sylvia Roger Academy programs, if you haven't already participated in one. Yes.
Thank you, Hayley. Ash, do you want to add?
Yeah, I do, just to say that we do receive a lot of applications and we receive a limited amount of funding. If you don't get a place, it does not mean that you wouldn't be a fantastic participant and that we don't want you as part of the program. Most of the time it is that we just simply do not have the places available for everyone we would love to put through the program. So please don't take that as necessarily like, oh, I shouldn't bother to apply again. Absolutely, like, apply again, or apply to any programs that interest you that we have. We do sometimes, like, if we've had people who maybe have applied to, say, our Future Leaders program a few times, and then on like the third try they have gotten in, and because we've taken that into account as well, that this is someone who's clearly like, I need this, and so we'll prioritize putting that person in. So do keep trying. Rejection is really hard though, and it really sucks that we do have to knock people back, and we do want everyone who applies to just be able to go through, but it is just that we have those limited places. So yeah, I just really encourage you to, if you think this program would be something you'd be interested in, I really encourage you to apply, because we would love to hear from you.
Thanks, Ash. Another question that's come back, probably for you, Hayley, is, and whoever wrote this question, thank you for your forward thinking. I will only be able to attend part of the introduction session for the face-to-face program due to having an event that evening. Would this affect my eligibility to be accepted into the program? Hayley?
Ashton or Liv, did you want to
absolutely.
answer that? Sorry. Yeah.
It would not. So obviously, like, we do ask, please come to every session, because we think that you get, especially because this particular program is about that community connection. We really encourage you to come to all of the sessions, or as many as you can. If somebody misses like one session or part of a session, that's okay. Like, we get sick, or, you know, things come up where we can't attend, so that's okay. The biggest thing we ask is that people just let us know, so that you know, we know that you're not going to be there for that or for part of that. So yeah, no, you can definitely still apply for sure.
Absolutely. I would encourage you though to think through whether the online program might be a better fit for you if you can't, from the beginning, can't attend the residential workshop. One of the reasons is that Friday night that we have together is the first time that many people have been in autistic space. So that is an environment which has been designed specifically for the needs and preferences of the autistic community. Often what we find at all of our workshops is that it's the first time that our participants have been in a room where it is just majority autistic people. So these are really valuable opportunities to connect and to experience. And yes, sitting out of a session, etc., it happens, and that's completely fine. But there is some really valuable opportunity to connect and to integrate into an autistic space happening on a Friday night, being that first time that we get together. So I would just really encourage you to have a think through whether that's the right opportunity for you, or whether it might be better to join the online program or apply for that one.
Yeah, thanks, Liv. Or of course, if you decide that you really do want to do the face-to-face, and that sort of that introduction is obviously a really valuable time, as Liv and the team said, you know, perhaps think about applying in the future. We hope to run this program certainly again into the future. So the next question is for Ash. What do I do if I don't have access to reliable internet throughout the program?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. So we essentially, what we can do is we can post all of our modules. So we do provide that as an option. So all of the online learning, you can use printed modules for that. We also have our online sessions through Zoom. So you're able to join those via the internet, or you can use your phone to connect. So like basically like ringing like you would a standard telephone call. So there are other options to joining if you are living somewhere where you don't have access to like a decent connection.
That's right. This program was designed specifically with people who live in rural or remote areas, with them in mind. And one of those barriers to accessing community and to accessing services and supports is reliable internet. So we've got a program that doesn't rely on that being available.
Terrific. Good forward thinking, team. That's great. A question for Hayley. What opportunities do participants get in the program to socialise with their peers? It's a great question.
So yes, for both versions of the program, so face-to-face and online, there will be fortnightly online sessions, which not only is an opportunity to go through the module content, but it's also an opportunity to share experiences, socialize, that kind of thing. Then aside from that, there is also an online community hub platform, which all participants will have access to, which is a place where you can discuss, and it's only autistic people on there, like the participants, where they can discuss the modules, they can ask questions, socialize, all that. And then for participants in the face-to-face version, who will also attend the residential workshop, there will also be, aside from activities and discussions, there will also be opt-in social activities as well throughout the workshop. And of course, participants are also free to exchange contact details with each other and socialise outside of the program. We encourage it. But yes.
That's one thing we hear through all of our Sylvia or Roger Academy programs. What we hear consistently is, I have found my tribe, and we want to support that in any way we can. So we're running the corporate governance program at the moment, and participants in that program have wanted to meet together more socially without having to talk about module content. So we support that by opening a Zoom chat room and saying, go for it. We don't have to be in that virtual room, but we want to be as flexible as the participants in the program want us to be, and what that social might look like for them as well.
Terrific, Liv. Ash, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that Liv and Hayley have covered it really well. But yeah, there's lots of opportunities to connect. And in particular, like that's really like one of the main key sort of focuses of this program is making it possible for our participants to connect with each other and spend time together as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ash. Another question that comes up quite a lot with Sylvia Roger Academy programs, and I'm going to direct this to you, Hayley. This is about autistic identity and connection. Who's presenting the module content, and are they autistic themselves, I guess, is the question I want to ask.
Yes, so this program has been designed for and by autistic people. So the module content has been written by myself and Ashton. We're both autistic. In terms of online sessions, they'll be run by myself and Ashton will be there as well. In terms of other module stuff, so like the master classes or the residential, at this stage we haven't yet finalised our delivery team, but they will all be autistic.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Hayley. And that's obviously the Autistic Identity and Connection program. That is something that is really core to the way that Sylvia Roger Academy runs, that it's always majority autistic project team, and it's always autistic delivery in terms of delivering the actual learning components. Ash, is there anything you want to add to that about the value of having autistic people presenting this content?
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things I did want to add in is that we weren't able to have this in the first part of like the initial pilot that we ran, but for this program we have been able to contract and pay some of our alumni to develop some content for the modules as well, just to like get you know, diverse experiences and different perspectives available as part of the program, which I think I mean, presumably will be well received. I think it'll be amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think that it is, for anything, it's always really valuable to get to hear each other's experiences. Like obviously like the modules and the master classes and those sessions are there so that you can learn from people who've often shared similar experiences, but also getting to be in a group of like peers of people who have all shared similar experiences, or maybe they've shared something different you haven't considered, but like you can understand, like getting to hear about those differences and also the things we have in common is really awesome and really like quite incredible to get to do. So there's lots of opportunities to learn and also lots of opportunities just to be together and just get to connect with each other on that level, which is, yeah, I think it's great.
It is great, I have to say, and I've had the privilege of being at every Sylvia Roger Academy residential, and I put my hand up every time because it's absolutely incredible having the opportunity to also, I guess, facilitate a space where people have the chance to connect and, you know, be in autistic space and be with their peers. We're going to wrap up in about 5 minutes unless a whole flurry of questions come through. So that is your cue. If you still have burning questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A panel now. In the meantime, I think I'm going to direct this question at Liv. So obviously Sylvia Roger Academy is part of Autism CRC. Do we encourage Sylvia Roger Academy alumni to be involved with Autism CRC more broadly? And how can people be involved?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, the first question was, do we? Absolutely, 100%. For those that want to, that is. Not everyone, you know, we're talking hundreds of people. Not every one of those want to continue to be involved with Autism CRC, and that's completely fine. But for those that do, we try and provide as many opportunities as we can. So, you know, Hayley was a graduate of Sylvia Roger Academy programs. Our office coordinator was a graduate of Sylvia Roger Academy programs. We have another project officer, Tammy, who also was a graduate. We don't always have paid jobs. We're a really small team. Our whole organisation is about the equivalent of 16 full-time employees, and we do a lot of work with very little staff. but we always look for opportunities. Hayley mentioned before, we have our online community platform available for our alumni. That's an opportunity for people to meet each other across the programs, but importantly, hear about opportunities, not just with us, but in the autistic community and broader as well. So what we do is we'll post consultation opportunities, job opportunities with other organisations, opportunities to be engaged in research, whatever those might be. But as Ash mentioned as well, this time for Autistic Identity and Connection, we are asking alumni to record some videos for us, and we're paying them to do that. The purpose of that is to provide a deeper understanding of the diversity of the autistic community. But those are some of the things that we call upon our alumni to put their hands up for. And as always, we put our money where our mouth is by actually paying people to do the work that needs to be done. I'm sure there's lots more to it. Hayley, Ash, over to you. What else do you want to add in there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like they've said, not everybody is necessarily interested in research. So we do have alumni who, like, for example, maybe they participated in our Future Leaders program, and that's not that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with research. So they might be like, well, that's not my cup of tea. But we do still like try and, get people together for dinners and like social things and things like that. Like, and it is very much like we always are providing those opportunities and emailing people. And if they want to, like participate in that, then absolutely, like come along. But also there's like no pressure on anybody, and everybody's got, different life stuff going on. And so that might not be something that they want to do. But yeah, we always provide the opportunity and love staying in touch with people.
Absolutely. Ash, there's a bit of a question about what is the alumni. Can you actually just tell people exactly what that is?
Absolutely. That is a very good question. So Sylvia Roger Academy alumni are people who have gone through one of our programs and graduated before. So we have, as Hayley mentioned, we've got 4 programs, which are Research, Governance, Future Leaders, and then the Autistic Identity and Connection program. So we have about just over, I think, 150 graduates from around Australia, which is incredible. And essentially it's about, just like staying connected and, if we have opportunities and things, then, we'll ask alumni if they want to be involved. But yeah, so if it's something that, if you're interested in like our work and being more involved in stuff, then absolutely applying to our programs and participating in them is a great way to do so. I think we have, I think that's covered it. If anyone has anything else to add, they're very welcome.
I guess I'd just quickly say as well, some of the other opportunities that we have for alumni are things such as becoming reviewers for project proposals, reviewer for research awards that we might give out. So it's not just telling a story around autism. It can actually be, deeply engaging in what is happening in the autism space, and particularly within autism research. Essentially, Autism CRC is about research and evidence-based practices. Yeah.
Thanks, Liv. And I'm going to jump in a little bit there as well, because I have the absolute joy of heading up knowledge translation, which essentially means working with research teams and autistic people as well as practitioners. So whether that be teachers or whether that be health professionals or whether that be employers, to turn the research and insights from research into websites and training and resources for those particular audiences. And our team are constantly looking for people with an interest. And the first place we look is always Sylvia Roger Academy alumni. And we have so many examples of incredible collaboration and ways that autistic people have actually been involved in the work. and continue to this day. So constantly looking for opportunities to engage the alumni.
Boy, oh boy, we've got pretty far away from talking about Autistic Identity and Connection.
We have, well, I can bring it back. I can bring it back. And I think this is a question for the wonderful Hayley. And that is, how or where do I obtain an application?
Yeah, so applications open on the 23rd of September, and that is when the online application form will be made available on the on our website. So yes, just have to wait until then. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So the actual web address, Hayley, for people to jump onto the website and have a look more about the program and where they'll be able to access the actual applications.
Yep.
So that's on our, it's going to start with autismcrc.com.au/Sylvia-Roger-Academy. And then have you got the rest of it, Hayley?
I'm just grabbing it now.
And it's /autistic-identity. And one of our beautiful team working in the background of this webinar will be able to put that into the chat for you all.
Terrific. Thank you. I can't see any other.
Sorry,
questions.
I had one last thing as
Oh,
well.
go Ash.
Because it's the 23rd of September, which is a while away, and you might forget, we do have a mailing list as well. So if you want to sign up for the mailing list, then you will get an email straight to your inbox when applications open, which I'll just pop in as well, because I know personally I would never remember. So just in case you need the reminder.
So maybe we can pop that in the, whatever it is the participants can see.
It's already there. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. So thank you so much, Ash, Liv, and Hayley, for your time. And thank you to everyone who's joined us and is interested in the program. I hope this has helped answer some of the questions that you have. But as we said at the beginning, this is not the only opportunity. Please feel free to send any questions after the webinar to hello@autismcrc.com.au. Once again, applications open on the 23rd of September and close on the 4th of October. And you can join the mailing list, and it's now in the chat. Once this session is finished, we will keep the meeting room open for about 3 minutes, just so that you can take all the information from the chat. And with that, I want to say thank you for joining us and have a terrific rest of your day. Thanks.